Hi everyone, today we'll try to fix the gantry on my Sovol SV08. My name's Andy and welcome to ATL. So, what's the problem with the gantry that it needs fixing? The belts on the X and Y axis are not parallel, as you can see in this picture. This can lead to dimensional inaccurate prints, especially if you're printing bigger objects. To fix this problem, a member of the community has released new gantry parts on Printables. The link is down in the description below, which can fix this problem. I'll show you the pieces that I printed right now. These are the 3D printed parts that will replace the stock parts on the gantry. There are two parts for each side, so your right, your left. The link is down below from Printables, so you can download the parts too. I modified them a bit because on the stock parts, here is where the two pins goes from the stock gantry. Hope you can see that here, these two indentations. And on the stock parts there is a small hole here with the self-tapping screw. So it's here, so the pin won't come out. I modified these parts a bit so I don't need the little hole and the self-tapping screw. I modified it in that way so the pins get fully inserted in these two holes and fit right in these indentations. The parts then get put together like this. Here they get screwed to the linear rail and he will get the X-beam, I think, or Y-beam, X-beam inserted. There are some heat-set inserts you have to put in these parts. On the two bigger parts there are two M4 and two M3 heat-set inserts. On the Printables page there is mentioned exactly what size you will need. Let's head to the printer and try to fit these parts. Before you start this modification, make sure you remove the panels. If your print is enclosed, I removed my left and my right panel. But I'm too lazy to remove the two doors and the back panel because it was not that easy to get the doors aligned properly, and on the back panel there is also my filter because I mainly print ABS. My shroud will look a little bit different than yours because I'm using the one from Nadir from CN3D. I slightly modified it too, but besides that all the steps will be the exact same as I will show you now. First we'll take the shroud off. Be careful, the part cooling fan is connected. In my case there are two fans because I have a second one for the PCB up here. Just careful when you unplug them, these are very small plugs. And just put the shroud aside. Next step, you need to loosen these two screws. I already loosened mine. One screw is here behind or between the two belts. You need to tighten this so the belt loses tension. You need to do this on both sides so we can remove the belts easier from the printhead. Next step, left and right, we need to remove these two screws here so that the belts get off the printhead. Your belt should be really loose from the previous step. As you can see, the two belts are clamped in this plastic piece here. Later, when we reassemble it, that you put the belts back in with the exact same distance. So in my case here, there are two tooths outside of the plastic part. Remember that, we need it later. You can now just get the screws out and pull the belts out. You might need a little flathead screwdriver to pry this part a little bit open to get the belts out. But be careful so you don't break this part. I figured it out how you can get the belts out easy. Just get your screwdriver and get in there, in the middle, and pry it open. And now you can get belt out. The belts are out, as you can see, And now we need to remove the 4 bolts on each side from the part on the linear rail, so we can remove it. I will let 1 screw in on this side and undo 3 screws on the other side first, so the X-beam won't crash down on me. The beam is down, and now I'll just carefully remove the belts. The beam is now free and only attached with the Bowden tube and the cable wiring here. Next step, we will remove these 2 bolts here. Please ignore this part, you probably won't have this. I had an X end stop mounted on my printer and this was the stop for it, but this is no longer needed. Once you remove the 2 bolts I showed you before, you can just pull this part off. Do this on both sides, but now you need to be careful so your carriage won't slide down from here. Here we have the 2 stock parts with the pulleys and the pins in them. We now need to remove them. Just get these 2 small screws out, and then hopefully we can push the pins through. Okay. Yeah. Super easy, as you can see. The pin gets through and we get the pulley and a spacer. I'll put them aside here, and I guess it's the same for this one here. Oh, okay, that was a little bit harder to get out, but no problem. Get out of here. So, and second part. Now we need to put the pins and the pulleys in the printed parts. I push the pins in my printed parts, as you can see. And now we need to put the pulleys on as followed. Here is a pulley with no teeth and spacer. That's the right side. And on the, I'd say, short one, we put the pulley with the teeth. After that, we can put the top on. So, and that's it. We now need per side 2 M3, I think by 45 or 35, I'll mention it on screen here, bolts. So you hold these 2 parts together. And here we use the stock bolts we just put out so we can get the parts. So that's the right side. And on the left side we do it just a little bit different, because we put on our pulley with the teeth, the back one here, and on the longer one in the front we put on the spacer, and then the pulley without the teeth, and as before put on the top. I'll just put the 4 screws in per side and show you the parts afterwards. I put the screws in on each side. Now the parts are together and rigid. Now we can put the parts on the X or Y beam. I'm still not sure. And after that we put it on the linear rails. Grab 2 of the 4 long bolts from before, and now we can put on the new part. Again, be careful so the carriage won't slide down on one end. So let's see if it fits. Yes, very nice fit. Okay. I will only put 1 bolt in and don't tighten it fully, because we will need to make sure it is square to the printer, otherwise we won't be happy with our prints. To be sure, I'll only put at this side one bolt in and put the other side on, so the carriage won't slip down. See it a bit when I put both on. Both parts are on and looking good. Now I look for something that is approximately the height from the print bed till here, so I can put the beam on and have an easier time screwing the 4 bolts in the carriages on the side. Here again, don't tighten them fully, just put all the bolts in, and then we will slide the beam to the back so it will hit both of these parts and be in square. I put 2 empty filament boxes here and one of the old Gantry parts, and as you can see, the height is not that far off, but this will be good enough so we can put in 1 bolt on every side and then put in the rest of the bolts. Okay, this worked really nice, no problems whatsoever. And now we'll put it to the back so both touch the back part here. As you can see, there's a little bit of play, so for that we need to push it against the stock parts in the back and tighten all bolts on each side, so the 4 on the bottom and these 2 on the top. All bolts are tightened, but I made a mistake, because as you can see here, here's the pulley with no teeth and the one with the teeth is in the back, and that's wrong, because as you can see, this belt comes from the back and we need to get it through there, and these 2 needs to be swapped. I will disassemble that all again and swap the 2 pulleys. I changed this mistake I mentioned before. Now the pulleys are correct. I got the belts through the correct way and put these kind of clamp on it, and also on the other side, and now I will just put them back on the printhead. The belts are again attached to the printer. Now we need to do the opposite what we did at the beginning. We need to loosen this bolt here, so we put tension on the belt, and when the tension is alright, we need to lock these 2 screws so this pulley here stays in place. Do this on both sides. After that, put back on the shroud, and that's it on the printer. Now that the modification is done, all you need to do is run your input shaper and everything should work fine. Let me know down in the comments if you like this video, and feel free to subscribe. And let me know if you would like to know more about my other SV08 mods that I did. Thank you for watching. Bye.